Hi. Hi. Mom. Mom. Fire from me. Keep from fire. Fire from me. Keep from fire. Fire from me. Keep from fire. Fire from heat. From fire. Fire from me. Keep from fire. 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 Hello. Fire from heat. Keep from fire. Fire from heat. Keep from fire. Fire from heat, heat from fire. Fire from heat, heat from fire. Hey, hello. Hi. Hey, hi. Fire from heat, heat from fire. Fire from heat, heat from fire. Fire from heat, heat from fire. All right. Is this thing on? Is this thing on? I don't even know. Let me put my headphones on and and see. Okay, well, I see the little VU meter on the screen pinging when I talk, and I've got my super fancy podcast microphone right here, and we are live on Twitch, and believe it or not, we're live on Facebook Live as well. I've got my phone right here, and I'm live streaming. We are just live streaming machines here at Bootie Mashup. Oh my God, welcome to the Bootie Mashup Mashup Talk. I'm your hostess, Adriana A, and thank you for joining us. Wow, what a week it has been. What a 2 weeks it's been. How's your corona apocalypse going, everybody? Oh, it's no laughing matter. You laugh so you don't cry is really what it's all about. And oh my God, it has been a topsy-turvy week. I thought that I totally had I had my self-quarantine down. I was like, all right, I'm going to be busy. I'm going to all of those Bootie Mashup projects that I never had time to do because I'm just too busy actually throwing a real party. So, all these long gestating projects, I could finally jump on and be like, okay, we are going to have a radio station 24/7, 365 Bootie Mashup radio station. We are going to start live streaming. We're going to have a podcast. We're going to just do all the things, and all the things that, quite frankly, Bootie Mashup should have had all of these things years ago, really. And I've felt sort of guilty about it too. Why are we not doing these things that we should be doing? We very much we're champions of mashup culture. We the whole goal, besides throwing a mashup party, the goal that has always been in place since we started way back in 2003 was to big up mashup culture, make mashups a thing, let people know what the good tracks are, who these amazing producers are. The producers are literally the unsung heroes of audio production. It's they barely get credit. They come up with these crazy ideas, and oftentimes people will repost them. They'll play them in their DJ sets. They'll basically be like, yeah, this is cool. I see things on BuzzFeed somebody made this cool mashup, and I was like, their name is right there. Why don't you can name drop the producer, So this has been, Bootie Mashup's goal has always been to sort of big up the whole scene, big up the culture, and instead all we ended up doing was throwing parties for the most part. I mean, sure, we post stuff on our website all the time, and I'm so adamant about giving credit to everybody and making sure that everything is there super tagged correctly, so who who these producers are, who these people are. But when we're DJing at the party, whether it be DNA Lounge in San Francisco, El Cid in LA, I just love to shout out my venues because they're all closed right now, and I'm really hoping all these venues are still around. Rebar in Seattle, these are our homes. But when we DJ there, we can't put up on a screen hey, this one's by DJ Cummerbund. Hey, this one's by DJ Schmoley. This is by Lobster Dust. So having these new avenues, these new forums, these new platforms to big up mashup culture is something that is long overdue. And it sucks that it took a global pandemic to shut all our parties down and leaving us with a bunch of free time. And this is literally us twiddling our thumbs. Like, oh God, what are we going to do? And so this is week number 2 of live streaming, and soon to be a podcast as well, Mashup Talk. It's a talk show. There's actually, we're just going to talk about mashups without actually playing mashups, which, you know what, now that I think about it, it had nothing to do with not having necessarily the time. It had a little bit to do. Actually, it had a lot to do with that. But also it's one of those things where why and how can you do a show talking about mashups without playing the mashups? Well, here's the issue with live streaming, with posting podcasts, with like YouTube videos. I mean, it's like, oh, it's frustrating. When we started in 2003, you know, copyright is a big issue. You can't mashups are you know, they were originally called bootlegs for a reason. They are literally illegal. It's bootlegged music. It's you know, all of us, our community, you know, just grabbing tracks and putting them together and mixing them up with other people's tracks. And, you know, this is not legally sanctioned by record labels. You know, there are labels that sometimes on the DL are like, yeah, that's cool. I've gotten messages from some artists that I've mashed up that were like, oh my God, we love this. But officially, legally, these things are not, these productions are not, they exist in a legal gray area. Let's put it that way. I don't necessarily want to say they're illegal, even though it sounds much cooler if we just say they're illegal. There's a skull and crossbones, you know, in our logo for a reason. You know, give us that cred, give us that, you know, we're pirates. But actually, to be fair, mashups exist in this legal gray area, especially if you don't sell them. If there's no money and profit to be made, then certainly there is a case to be made for fair use. And you know, there's never been a landmark court case to really prove definitively whether mashups are fair use. You know, it's like parody songs, things. I mean, it's like there's copyright is it can be a little slippery sometimes. So anyway, if we played actual mashups, I'm like, hey, let's talk about this mashup, and then we're gonna plop it on, you know, then we're gonna play it for you. Well, it doesn't last on YouTube. It gets pulled down from YouTube immediately. We can't release it as a podcast. The only reason we can do it on Twitch is because this is a live stream and it goes away poof, like pretty much, you know, it doesn't stick around. So we decided to have one show that was literally just talk, so that way this stuff can stick around. So you can hear me blah 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 about mashup culture, because I freaking love mashups and the scene and this culture, and there's a reason why, like I said, we started this in 2003. I'm not bored yet. I am not over mashup culture. Every time I think I'm getting bored with it, somebody new comes along out of the woodwork and is just like, oh my God, this is you know, they think it's the greatest thing ever. They just started doing it. They, you know, there's waves, and there have been several waves since the modern mashup movement has really happened. But the one thing that has not gone away is the copyright issue. And in fact, it's weird. It got worse. It's actually, you know, back in the day, tell us a story, Grandma. I feel like mashup grandma sometimes. I'm not kidding. So back in the early 2000s, you know, these mashup tracks, MP3s, would end up on Napster and LimeWire and, you know, websites. You know, there was like Boom Selection get your bootleg on, and so I'm old school here, right? And every now and then someone in our community would get a cease and desist letter from a record label or a music publisher or something. And in our community, that was very much seen as a badge of honor. It's like, I got the C&D. Oh my God. Yes, I have to take the mashup down. I need to take it from, take it off my website. It's like, download it now while you still got a chance, because it's going to be gone in 24 hours to comply with the cease and desist letter. But yeah, a C&D was very much a badge of honor, in the mashup community. You made it. They noticed me. These big record labels, they noticed me. And so no one hardly ever actually got, there's never been a lawsuit, really. There have been a few cases here and there. I've heard some horror stories. There was a DJ in Switzerland, DJ Fack, who apparently, again, this is, like any community, any scene, any culture, we have our stories. And this was one that was making the rounds, where, the Swiss authorities came to his house and confiscated his hard drive and fined him, 20,000 euros? No, Switzerland's not on the euro. They're like the one country in Europe that isn't on the euro, like main Europe. Francs? Are they still on francs? What? No, Swiss francs? Help me out here. Checking in the chat here. Anyway, he got fined a lot of money. That's the takeaway. And we don't know if this is really true or not, but he did sort of disappear for a while. So, but for the most part, it was just like this. It was like, just got your hand slapped, and it was like you just took it down, and that's all the record labels care about, really, is that you complied. But then there was like this middle period, like around the early 2010s, when it really seemed like, what, cat's out of the bag. Masher's gonna mash, right? It's like they don't have the manpower in their legal departments to go after every single mashup artist and shut them down, right? This is also when the record industry is completely going down the tubes. CD sales are plummeting. Needless to say, those record labels had better things to do than to go after, the little mashup artist. It seemed like it was like, oh, you didn't hear about people getting C&Ds, cease and desist orders, as much. And well, all of that has changed in, like, I would say around the last 5 years or so. It feels like 2003 again. It feels like, how it started when we first, were discovering mashup culture, where it's like, crap, this is actually still a legal gray area and still not technically legal. And yeah, sure, there are not legal departments sending you a letter or sending you a nasty worded email to take your stuff down. No, there are AI bots to do that. So we are living in the Matrix. The robots are coming for us. They've already won. So literally it's like you post something to YouTube and then it gets clocked immediately for copyrighted material. Or maybe it's allowed to stay, but then all of a sudden in the comments, or not the comments field, but the information field, there's information about what copyrighted music is in that track. There are, obviously, Twitch and Facebook Live and many other streaming platforms also run these bots. As soon as it hears copyrighted music, really, let's just say, as soon as it hears most music, period, other than, these, open source or royalty-free music that you get. But if it's like, a famous pop song, which is obviously what Bootie really is all about, then yeah, bam, it's out of there. So so it's been frustrating to be a mashup producer the last few years. Even things like SoundCloud, which is really designed for DJs and producers, and just I remember when we did a major overhaul with our website, and our website's really pretty now. I really like it. It's been a few years now, and our web developer was like, oh, you got to be on SoundCloud. It's so much better. You don't want to just host stuff on your own server. You want to be on SoundCloud so people can share it and blah, 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 blah. And then literally like over the development period of our website, which was like about a year or more, actually, I think it was way more than a year, little by little, like mashup producers were just like, oh, sorry guys, all my stuff got pulled down off of SoundCloud. Oh, hey everybody. Sorry, my stuff went poof. Bye-bye. So I'm like, yeah, we are not doing SoundCloud. And we've posted our best of Bootie mega mixes, the whole 70-minute mix on SoundCloud. And, some of them have stayed and some have not. And, I don't know which parts of the mix are getting, clocked for copyright infringement, but I definitely did not want to have a website with, where we're posting, at least 10 tracks a month with our, Bootie Mashup Top 10, with our, our best of Bootie albums, which are, really, very artisanal hand selected mashups of the year. I didn't want like half the tracks like suddenly gone if you go back a couple years. I just didn't, and in fact, we even ran into problems with our own web server. I'm going to name names. I don't care. oneandone.com. Okay, so this is frustrating. And there was a music publisher in the UK, I want to say PMS Music, but that's not it. PRS? I think it's PRS. I could look it up right now, but whatever. I don't need to give them. Do not need to shout out these people. Anyway, they're not a record label. They are as far as I understand, an organization based in the UK that represents music publishers. And so once they figured out what we were doing with Bootie Mashup, and I think it was just like, one person at this company, they just literally, because we had updated our website to have a search field so they could like just type in any of the artists that they represent. Boop, 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 boop. Oh, hey, wow. Hey, there's that mashup. There's this mashup. There's that mashup. It was like, So, our ISP, which was One and One, who were really great. I actually really liked them as an internet service provider. They sent an email, and then they sent another email, and it was like, and I took it down and then showed them, and I took that track down and I showed them, and and this went on for like a few months, and then they were like, yeah, we need to. You got 30 days to move to another company. We're cutting you off. We have to end our service with you. Sorry. And I'm actually dealing with a real human being on the other end of this email chain, and because he was pretty cool about it. I mean, as cool as he can be for basically just abiding by company policy and trying to cover their asses and not get sued. But he was like, the Digital Millennium Rights Act, I think that's what it is. Digital Millennium Copyright Act. DMCA, that sounds like it is. Again, you know what? I never know where I'm going to go with these mashup talks. So if I actually had prepared notes, I would like have everything, but I don't want to waste time digging through my emails here to get every little bit down. So anyway, I'm pretty sure it's like Digital Millennium something Act. Maybe someone in the chat knows and can, clarify for me. But anyway, they're like, regardless of he actually said something like, regardless of my own personal feelings towards what you guys do, unfortunately, we have to abide by the digital millennium digital copyright, blah, 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 whatever, legal, bullshit. So too bad, so sad. So yeah, I had 30 days to scramble and move and migrate an entire website over to another server, costing me thousands of dollars. Fortunately, our web developer is a old friend of ours, and Bootie Mashup was like literally, I think, one of his first clients. So it was it got done, and it was manageable, and actually it worked out pretty well. So now we're on a server that I'm not going to say too much, but we are now, the Bootie Mashup website is on a server that is based in a country that has a more complimentary view of fair use that is more in alignment with my own, all of our, everyone involved with Bootie Mashup, our feelings and ethics regarding fair use. So we are a little bit more protected. Now, of course, in the mashup community, what does that really mean? Who knows? I mean, all of us like live, day to day with like, okay, when does all our crap just get taken down off the internet? I love that I have a hard drive. I was just actually chatting with Lobster Dust the other day about like some old tracks, and I was like, oh yeah, it's like, I'm glad somebody has all these old tracks like me sitting on a hard drive, because all those old things have been like scrubbed clean off the internet, and that was his words, like scrubbed. So anyway, it's hard out there for a mashup producer. And then there are like all these YouTube producers, weirdly, who are coming out, all these new people, Cummerbund, Andy Wu, Bill McClintock. I mean, I can go on for days. There are so many of them, and they do great work, and we showcase them on our website. And it's like their stuff is still there. Like, how is that not taken down? I've like posted videos. We've tried to do like, here's a weird thing, DJ Cummerbund's Rick Astley versus Ariana Grande track mashup that we put on Best of Booty. His video stayed up online. Our Best of Booty mix kept getting taken down because of that track, which we were able to like needle in a haystack figure out by which ones were like, you could tell, like, if you dig through your settings, it'll tell you like got blocked because of, this one thing, and it was that track. And then we had to take it out of the mix because we wanted to post like a full, 72-minute mix or whatever. And then it magically stayed up on YouTube. But like, why, DJ Cummerbund's 3-minute video of just that song, but when it's part of a whole mix, like they wouldn't, who knows? I don't know. Anyway, I'm gonna look at the chat real fast, see if any good questions here. Anyone like okay, no, okay, just Digital Millennium Copyright Act. I was correct. Yeah. Adriana remembered shit. Okay. Are you all ready for tonight's interview? I really hope this goes better than last week's interview. I mean, last week's interview was great in my headphones, but apparently for all of you out there listening, it was like crazy echo and everything else. So interneting so hard, live streaming so hard. So we are going to try this again. I think I've got it set up pretty good. We did a run through this afternoon. That doesn't mean anything. I mean, it could all like turn to shit real easily. But yeah, we are going to give our guest DJ tonight a little Skype call here. So let's see if this works. Okay. Oh, here we go. Here goes nothing. Okay. Hopefully this. Hey, come on. Here we go. Think we're getting there. All right. Wow. Okay. So I don't think that's working. Or is it? Hey, Freddie, are you there?
I can't see you right now.
Oh my God, I know. We've just got like a little Skype logo here. You need to click the video part. Oh wait, you can't see me?
I can't see you either. Yeah,
Oh,
but
well, we're gonna fix that real quick. Hold on a minute. See?
well, it might be my thing. I think I answered it without
Oh,
video.
okay. So there should be.
There we
Yeah!
go. Ah!
Yeah, we did it.
Awesome!
Okay.
Yay!
Oh my God. All right. Oh, hey, this
Hey,
worked.
did it? What's
Technology. Oh, wait a minute. What
technology
just happened?
working for once?
Why'd you go? Oh, why'd I make you so small? Hold on a minute.
Oh no!
Oh no. All right, there we go.
It's okay. Look better this
I
way.
fixed you. No, you don't. You should be you should be
Oh,
big and everything. Oh my God, I love your green screen.
oh, thank you. The high tech.
Yes.
This uh,
I
you know,
I actually
the
no.
magic.
I
The magic.
love seeing the magic. I decided actually today I
Yeah.
decided not to go green screen because I knew you
Oh,
were gonna go green screen there, and
oh, that's got quilt up.
this is my it's my custom made Booty mashup quilt. I'll talk about this a
Yes.
little later after I get off the phone with you, but yeah, decided to do a just a normal little
Oh, great.
backdrop here. So
My dog barks. So
so, for all of you people listening and watching, this is DJ Freddie, King of Pants, resident DJ at Booty Mashup in Seattle. You can, well, you used to be able to catch him every month at Rebar. Of course, all of
yeah,
that's on hold.
would have been last week, right?
Yeah, it would have been 2 weeks ago. Yeah, literally 2 weeks ago because we do Booty Mashup Seattle on Friday. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's been a weird 2 weeks, but I have to say, all of us have been scrambling. DJs, performers, we can't gather in bars, clubs, parties, events, anything anymore. So everyone's moving to live streaming. Everything's moving online. You jumped into this like a fish in water. I mean, you.
I wouldn't say that exactly, uh, but it has been. I've been learning a lot. It's like I'm doing a crash course since
Oh
like what
yeah,
2 weeks ago.
yeah. We all
Uh,
are.
but I think yeah, I was a slight casual Twitch user before we decided to raid the place.
Well,
So yeah,
you're a gamer too, so I'm not the least bit surprised that
not a
Twitch.
hardcore gamer, but
Yeah.
uh, yeah, we have video games in common. We have retro video games in common,
Yes. Yeah.
and I I keep trying to convince you to start streaming your old school collection of old Atari games and stuff. But you,
For those
I
who,
don't know. I'll
yeah.
break you
Oh
down.
my God, let me explain this to people. For those who don't know, Adriana, a fun fact: I own one of the largest Atari 2600 video game collections in the country, if not the
It's a,
world. It's
yeah.
like I'm probably, in the, I don't know, at least top 100 collectors, maybe top 50, not top 10. I know there's people who are like way more crazier than me, but I've got like 800 games. It's stupid. But Freddie, Twitch is no place for Atari 2600 games.
I think it's one of it is the place for it. Really, people like that stuff. I think people would like to watch you playing old school retro games. I don't know. I would watch it.
Oh my God, it's gonna be
It's
like
weird ones,
it's
weird ones that people don't normally see.
it's gonna be angry
Like
video.
Porkies.
Yeah, it's gonna be angry video game nerd stuff where I'm just gonna be like, okay, this game sucks, throw it out. This game sucks, throw it out.
Whatever gets you clicks. I
Oh,
guess.
that's true. Maybe. All right. Let's
Yeah.
watch Tranny play old school video games. By the way, I can say
That's
that.
a million
I can
dollar
say
idea
that,
right there.
people. I'm a trans woman. I'm allowed to say that. You can't. It's like the T word. you know. So Freddie, what got
Yes.
you into mashup culture to begin with? I met you in like what 2000. I want to say 2005 or something. It's been a long time.
Oh, we actually met in person. We might have known each other from Gaibo first,
Yeah.
of course. Does everybody know what Gaibo is?
Let me explain. Gaibo, get your bootleg on. It was a early 2000s message board that was very much the nexus point for the entire global mashup community at that time.
Yeah,
like we're talking like pre-Facebook. We're
yeah.
talking pre-MySpace.
But in person.
But yeah, we met in person somehow. How did that happen?
In person, we met at DJ Earworm's very first DJ set publicly ever.
Yes. Oh my God, I remember this. Yeah, it was at like San Francisco Museum of Modern Art. Earworm was doing a gig, and yeah, why were you there? You don't even live in San Francisco.
I came down for a gig. I was DJing another gig, and probably a bear gig or something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
I was just in town, and it was like, oh, DJ Earworm is playing his first public set, and that's where we met. Yeah, and Earworm actually is the one who taught me how to make mashups. Like I went over to his apartment on that trip and was like, "Here's how you do it." So
and how did you get connected with Earworm that early?
His friend Scott Brown was friends with me, and I think just also through Gaibo.
Right, sure.
We were all friends, yeah. So
the way those webs weave, yeah.
Yeah, it's a small coast. It's a small coast after all.
Well, also in the queer community as well. I mean, like all of us are queer, and so gay bars and it's like okay, we all just sort of like. It's a little incestuous wolf pack to a certain degree,
Yeah. And I don't know if that point I was, but I go down to San Francisco a lot. I love going to San Francisco. So I was like, started to get more in that scene quickly to meet guys. So, but I think it was Gaibo that connected everybody first.
Oh,
and
very
that
much
was
so. I always sort of feel bad for newer bootleg producers because, us old school people are like, oh, Gaibo. And they're like, what is Gaibo? Like, why? Why was this such a thing? And I was like, well, it was a thing because there wasn't Facebook. There wasn't YouTube. There wasn't MySpace. I mean, this was how we...
Well, there was... I think I remember putting mashups on MySpace Music at the tail end of it or something. Or the
dying days of Gaibo.
This whole Twitch thing of all of us coming together and being able to see people broadcast and everything, it reminds me of the old LiveJournal days. I don't know if because you feel like you have a connection with people more. Yeah. Some of the friends I made on LiveJournal back in the early, this is a weird thing to admit to, are still like some of my best friends. Yeah. Really close friends just from being a young dork on LiveJournal in the early 2000s.
I have to say, the past 2 weeks have reminded me. I've gotten like flashbacks of that early bootleg mashup community. I mean, like most of the people on this channel are like pretty hardcore fans, and the ones who aren't fans are producers. The ones like hanging out in the chat and stuff. And so it's like, oh, here we are, like we've got a place to like sort of connect again. I mean, and I guess we always have, but we sort of all scattered to the winds after Gaibo ended.
Well, it was after the crackdowns of everybody getting their stuff like you were just talking about before, getting their stuff taken to the internet, and it got scarier, and then you just weren't as connected with people, and it was scary. But I mean, the Bootie loop has kept us going.
We're like
the club nights.
We're like the last true believers of mashup culture, but I want to.
We're like Mad Max 5.
But Freddie, you actually started the first mashup party in Seattle.
Yeah, and it was pretty soon after Bootie at the Cherry Bar. But yeah, I had a night called Frankenboot at Rebar, which now is where Bootie Seattle is.
Comes full circle.
So it is such a like a decade later. I come back to Rebar play mashups. But yeah, I had a night called Frankenboot, and it was very in a Frankenstein theme. All the posters were the pop stars, somehow Frankenstein and sewn together with other pop stars and like brains and zombie stuff. And because I felt like Frankenstein was the perfect metaphor for mashups. It's you're digging up something old and sewing it together to something else to create a new life.
Yeah.
So um, yeah, and the posters, I had a lot of friends that were amazing illustrators and did like some incredible Frankenstein themed art for the pop star Frankenstein thing for the posters. And actually, there was a Andy Hill is a professor who taught about he teaches about horror movies and horror, the horror genre, and he contacted me because he was using my posters and mashups in his class about
Oh,
Frankenstein
really?
from Frank. Yeah, yeah. He's an awesome guy too. He's actually in. Have you seen or heard about the? I don't know if you're a horror fan, right?
To a degree. I'm not a huge horror fan, but yeah.
The new the new documentary Scream Queen about Nightmare on Elm Street 2.
Oh, I've been wanting to
Where
see this. Yes, I.
it's
Okay.
amazing, amazing. But he's in that talking
Ah.
smart about horror
And
movies. And,
obviously also a bit of a mashup fan, I guess. Huh.
yeah, yeah.
Nice.
All these weird worlds sort of coincide
Right.
within.
Uh,
But yeah, I did that party for about 5 or 6 years, um, and that ended in like 2008 or
yeah, right
nine.
around the time that we
And
basically came in and were like, "Hey, let's find." It was like, it was the joke that like, oh, your small little mashup party, the Booty Mashup Corporation's gonna come in. And take it, swallow it up,
Yeah.
and rebrand it, Booty
Uh,
Mashup
yeah,
Seattle.
yeah. Even during that, I was going down and playing. You were having me down and play San Francisco Booty, but I think that I don't. When did like the other city? Well, during that time, I think I went and played Booty New York with you
Yes, yeah,
guys and
and you've done LA as well,
uh,
sure. Yeah,
L.A., San Francisco, Vancouver. Uh,
ill-fated
but
Vancouver. Oh, they can't all be
uh,
winners.
but yeah, it was really great to be in the Booty family because I could keep going with it. It wasn't like an
Right.
end to that mashup thing for me. So
Nice. Well, and how did you even get into mashups? Like, how does that even start?
I remember specifically there was some people went to see a concert. Some friends of mine went to see who was it? Ladytron, and it was a DJ. It was a DJ set, not a concert. And they came back from that, and they were like, "Oh my God, Ladytron was so amazing." They played this like mix of Destiny's Child singing over Nirvana. They like somehow mixed them together, and I
And that
was like,
wasn't even
"That's so."
Ladytron. That was just a Ladytron DJ set
Oh, I know, I know.
DJing the very
Well, that's
famous Too Many DJs track.
too many
Yeah,
DJs, Soul Wax Radio. Yeah,
right.
but I was like, it doesn't like knowing doing DJ stuff. I was like, I bet you they didn't just
Do that,
do
right,
that.
of
I bet
course.
you that exists somewhere that they found and played. And so I started. I just Googled it and and found it, and that blew everything open. And I
Oh,
was like, this is the greatest thing I've ever
right.
heard. And then it just spiraled. And I'm like, I'm a hoarder, so like I just collected. Like you were talking about, having these hard drives of just years and years of mashups. My mashup folder, my DJ hard drive goes back to 2003, but it probably 2002. Um, but it was right around then. But I probably was collecting them before that, but didn't put them in a
Well, and
folder until
also
then.
everything back
Uh,
then was so horribly MP3 ID3 tagged. Like,
oh my God,
who knows like
everything.
who did that track, where it
Yeah,
came from. Yeah.
yeah. There's still a lot of songs where like I love it. I
No
have
idea
no
who made it.
idea who,
Yeah, which is
like,
frustrating. Like,
yeah,
especially
it
for
is.
for
Yeah,
us who, like I was saying earlier, trying to big up the culture, and I'm like, who do I big up here? Who made this amazing track?
yeah,
And
yeah.
you
And
make
how
you make mashups yourself as well.
I do, yeah. I haven't been releasing them for a while now, just because uh, I really got out of I got out of the habit, and I let my website lapse. Like it didn't get taken down. I just got bored or something and just stopped, paying for it. So I wasn't served. They weren't served anywhere, and I didn't like. I was just making them and playing them out at like Bootie or other
Sure.
gigs. So, uh, and I still make them once in a while, not to the degree that I did during Frank Boot or something, but I still have ones that I haven't released. But you know, I I feel bad about not sharing
You
them like I
should. You
used to.
should. I mean,
I know, I need to,
at least
but I
send them to
also am like,
us, and then because
yeah, of course,
which
I
which you
should, yeah,
do every now and then. You send some, but then,
yeah, every once in a while,
and
yeah.
if any of them are,
Usually, I wait to I play them at Booty, San Francisco, or something, and I wait to see if somebody comes up and is like, "What is this? Who made this? Where'd you get this?" And they're like, "Okay, it's mine. I'll send it to you." Now that you said you liked it, okay.
right? Yeah, it's true because you never like I said earlier, they're not all winners.
Yeah,
I,
it could be. Yeah, and then everybody's got different tastes, and
yeah,
somebody could be like, "This is my magnum
right,
opus," and then other people are like, "Oh, well, it's out of key and out of
right.
time." So, but, there's a lot. You and I have had this for years too. It's like some you're like, I can't stand that one. It's like, oh, it's my new favorite. Like, there's just different tastes and different
Yeah.
flavors, and it depends on what your musical history is and what your connection to the songs are, or
Yeah.
something
What
like
is
that.
your? I mean, what would you say your favorite? Like, what's your favorite? When you do an all, because you DJ all sorts of things. Your Twitch channel
Yeah,
these past 2 weeks, which you literally just like threw together. It's
it,
been great
it
because I don't live in Seattle. I've come and heard you DJ other things, other parties here and there, but I've actually gotten a chance to listen to all sorts of things. I know you're a huge Disney fan. Your Disney show on Thursday
yes,
nights. I'm going to implore everyone, follow King of Pants. And he's on Twitch a lot. It's great music just to like hang and listen to. It's like while we're sitting here at our computers working. You often do a lot of afternoon stuff, huh?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. My like the Disney. I do a Disney Oddities set Thursdays at 1 p.m. And that's been really people have been really loving that because I have a lot of weird stuff and a lot of weird Disney stuff and stuff that like, oh, I would never play this out of the club or anything, but it's a weird
Right.
Disney commercial from 1958, and why would I play that? But like, I get this outlet for it, and so it's really fun to do that. And then I do like an old soul and oldies thing on Monday afternoons, and I've been doing 80s Friday afternoons at 1. But then I also get on a later night to play more like dancey
Right.
stuff. Um, but yeah, I've been on every day, usually twice a day, one in the afternoon and one at night
So
for different who want to listen at different
you
times.
love mashups. You've been a producer since 2004, 2005, right? You
Yeah, yeah.
started Seattle's first all mashup party, Frank and Boot, a monthly party, and
Mhm.
then ended up being Booty Mashup Seattle's resident DJ. Yet, the one
Uh,
thing you have not done yet on your Twitch channel, what kind of DJ set have you not done yet? An all
I haven't
mashup
done a full
set.
mashup set. Yeah, I haven't done a full mashup. I did on St. Patrick's Day. I was like, well, there's all these St. Patrick's Day mashup. We do a St. Patrick's Day party every
Sure.
year. We might as well. So yeah, I that's the closest, but it wasn't all mashups because there was some like I couldn't find certain artists, and I'm like, well, I got to play this artist.
Right.
It's going to be the regular version. But yeah, I have yet to do a single complete
So
mashup set.
what's in store for tonight then? Because
I
you're
don't
on in
know.
15
Like,
minutes, and I'm
oh
looking
my god,
forward to
oh my
getting drunk on White Claw and dancing around in my living room.
Uh, I'm drinking just soda tonight because I'm saving myself for Quarantiki on my channel
No.
tomorrow. On Saturday afternoon last week, I did like a tiki lounge
Yeah.
thing, and it was like so much fun. I had like rum drinks and pineapple with like little fancy tiki drink playing lounge and tiki music.
Nice.
So I'm saving tonight. No White Claw for me,
Okay.
but
So,
uh,
so what do you have in store?
but
What are you gonna throw down for
I
us?
I I don't know. Sure I'm going to go all over the place because there's just a ton I have that I feel like I don't get to play out often. But I was gonna try and really focus on some old school mashup gems that from the old days because I feel very much like this is like the old Gaibo crew and everybody getting back together and people who really know mashups have been listening and following. And so I wanted to bring out some real classics,
Nice.
but mix some stuff, of course. But
Right.
oh my
What?
gosh, somebody is really excited in the chat
Oh,
here.
okay. It's happy birthday, Carter. Okay. There we
Oh,
go.
yay! Happy
Oh,
birthday,
would you guys
Carter.
say happy birthday to my son? Yeah, happy birthday, Carter.
Happy birthday, Carter. Well, I want you to know that my set tonight is completely dedicated to Carter. It's because it's his birthday. I knew it was his birthday before I saw the chat,
Of
and I
course.
was like, I got to do something special for Carter. So I'm bringing back some old classic mashups that people haven't heard in a long time, but mixing them with some new ones too. Just for you, Carter. I love you. Happy birthday.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, it's been interesting. Last week, DJ Innate kind of did a bunch of
Oh, yeah.
booty classics in his set. So it's been
Oh, you like the ixnay on
well,
that.
no, because his booty classics are going to be different than your booty classics, and
Yeah.
also you're talking about like probably going even deeper. You've been DJing and in the mashup community even longer than he has. So yeah, it's I'm very much looking forward to your set. What? Okay, we're gonna close out our interview. Quick off the top of your head, like don't think about it too much. Favorite mashup of all time?
I think it was the first one I heard. The Destiny's Child versus Nirvana.
Smells like
Smells like Booty.
Bootylicious. Yeah, too many
Yeah,
DJs.
so,
It's still a
yeah, that
classic.
it's still a classic because it's well done and it's unexpected and it's two very separate genres that work together beautifully. And I think a lot of the newer mashups I'm seeing from wherever we find mashups, uh, like there wasn't as much of a problem back in the old days, but it does seem like now it's just same genre over same genre. Like this song came out 2 weeks ago, this song came out 2 weeks and 2 days ago, mix them together. It's like all pop songs are written by five people right now, so of course they're all going to sound the same. And it's not a judgment. Some of them sound amazing, some of them are really good, and I play out some
They're
of
great
those.
for the dance
Uh,
floor.
but
Yeah.
Great for the dance floor. But I really think that mashups, it's one of the key things is two separate genres that you wouldn't expect to working together to create something
Yeah.
new. Um, so I would implore younger mashup producers to make sure that it's separate in either separate genres or separate decades or separate just some theme of them being
Freddie,
op-
that's so hard.
it's
It's
not
so
though. Because
it's so hard. You
based
have
on
to
some
you have to you have to you have to know music older than 5 years ago. You
well, that's what Will I Am does. It's just like taking a song from the '80s, looping it, and saying Mazel Tov over it.
yeah,
It's like those songs are getting
right.
sampled. You know the song. I
Yeah,
know.
no, I get it.
But
Also, but
yeah,
I have to
you have
say, genre clash. I mean, Booty Mashup has very much always been a champion of genre clash, but I have to say, like,
yeah,
we're slaves to the dance floor as well. So it does feel like, oh crap, I
yeah,
can't, sometimes can't go quite as deep as I want to, but
yeah,
that mashup that you just mentioned to this day, and even though it's like it's not super well produced because audio software is so much better now than it was back
right.
in 2002 when that mashup was created, but the thing is Smells
It
Like
works.
Teen Spirit is like, it's a perennial classic. It's like the new American songbook, right? And Destiny's Child, Bootylicious. I mean, Beyonce is a national treasure. So both of these songs have somehow filtered through the generations, where, it doesn't matter what age you are, these songs. And and the fact that, and they're very obviously not supposed to go together.
Right. I think that's the key thing, but it works so well, So I always think of it as like part of it. It's an artistic thing that we do, but it's like the mustache on the Mona Lisa. It's taking something so revered and being like, oh, also, it sounds like this thing that maybe you didn't know. It's really like kind of that. It's an art movement of putting culture.
Pop
together.
culture,
pop culture, yeah. I mean, it's like walking through the mall and hearing it. There's no more malls, but still, it's like walking through a public space and hearing a song come out of one store and a song come out the next store, and like that's what mashups are. Something we live in all the time, and
I talked about this last week, where it's like, I think the people who are like feel strongly about the mashup concept are music fans, people who just love music so much, and they're not tied down to one genre. They just like a lot of it. They might not like all of it, but they
are. It's like ruin my song kind of people. Like, you can like music too much if you're not open-minded and be like, when you play a mashup and somebody comes up like, can you play the real one now?
Okay, when was the last time that actually happened, though? I mean, that happened a lot, like in the early days. When was the last time that happened?
It happens at Britney Spears' Bootie every time.
Those Britney fans.
Something with that hasn't got the memo. And they're like,
can you play some Britney? All right. Well, I'm going to let you go because I know you need to get ready for your set and kind of like switch some things around. Yeah. Thank you so much for joining me on Mashup Talk.
Yeah. I'm very excited.
Right. DJ Freddie,
thanks for having me.
King of Pants, live streaming right now from Seattle. He's going to be joining us in about 8 minutes with throwing down a Friday Night Live set. Thanks, Freddie.
Thank you. Bye.
All right. Let's see. How do I hang up? Yay, we hung up. We did it. Okay. All right. Technology. That actually worked mostly, except that his screen kept like jumping out. OBS software, what's up? I was loving you for a while. Now you're starting to do weird things. Anyway, how you guys doing out there? Thank you so much for joining us on the Friday Night Live. Let's just see anything good in the chatty chats. All right. I've got to say it's been utterly fascinating to me, the way that this has all come together under, like I said, unfortunate circumstances. But I honestly feel like, okay, so we started Bootie Mashup in 2003. And at the time, the parties were small. It was, 50, 75, 100 people if we were lucky. And but it was it was a tight-knit community, and we had to really build it, and now it's like people come to our parties, and they don't necessarily come to our parties because they like mashups. They come to our parties because they're good parties, and mashups are way less of a unique, crazy thing in 2020 than it was, say, in 2003. So it's a little bit of the luster has gone a little bit. This has been interesting, though, because I've noticed it's like we launch Bootie Mashup on Twitch and we start live streaming and we're trying to like establish, it's like, why do we not do this sooner? And then, here's the thing, because I've had to sort of think about it. I was like, okay, this has been interesting these past 2 weeks, like trying to like slam ourselves with, these new for us anyway, technology of like, live streaming and, and why have we never done this before? And I was like, well, here's the deal. When your job is literally throwing a party 8, 9, 10 times a month in various cities all over, the country, sometimes all over the world, and you're busy with the promotion and the production and putting it together and putting together the lineup and booking the talent and putting the promotion together and getting the promotion out there, and you've got a great team of people, but you're still like, Bootie Mashup is a very small operation. It's basically myself. I have an assistant, Eric, and that's it, really, as far as like actual employees, and everyone else is just like part of our DJ crew. And I love those people, but they're there for the parties. They're everyone's helping out. We have an amazing team, but as far as like the actual business end of it, it's we're a small operation. We're basically a kitchen table business, like I said last week. So anyway, that takes a lot of energy. So I was like, oh, okay, I can see why, and you get that immediate gratification. You go to the club, you go to the party, and you've got 1,000 people, or, depending on which city, maybe 100, a couple hundred, whatever. You've got real-time feedback from people there, having a good time, having a party, that it's a little hard to motivate to do all of these other projects where you don't sort of get that immediate gratification and immediate like feedback and satisfaction. And you launch a radio station, I was like, maybe people listen to it, I don't know. You launch a Twitch channel, it's like, okay, we've got like 43 people tuned in, which is awesome. It's like double what we had last week, so I'm like so happy. But it's not like thousands. So it's it's all like but now we can't throw parties. So this is what we're doing, and I very much feel like, oh my God, we're back. It's back to 2003. We're back to square one, where we're trying to build this thing that we love and that we're so passionate about, and trying to find other people who are like mashups. So here we are with a Twitch channel and a podcast, and I'm Facebook Live right now over here, and basically I am throwing everything against the wall of social media platforms and sort of seeing what sticks, with the idea being is like when we can throw parties again, and hopefully it's sooner than later, although I'm being realistic, and despite what our president says, I don't necessarily think we're all going to be back to work by Easter, especially when your work is putting large groups of people together in a room. So definitely taking this opportunity to kind of like build this up and build up community and spread the mashup gospel, so to speak, on a totally different platform in a way that feels a little bit more disconnected. But I'm looking at my screen here, I see these chats, I'm like it's like, oh, there's an active engagement here that I really like. When I'm in a DJ booth DJing for 1,000 people, oh yeah, it's like I feel like a rock star. But I'm not having conversations with people about, oh my God, I love this track, and oh, I remember this, and like, this, this was the first mashup I ever heard, and it was amazing, and like I don't. That isn't happening, but this is here now. And I'm appreciating this. So it's like we're in a very challenging, difficult time right now with the corona apocalypse, but there are silver linings to every bad situation, and this is one of them. So thank you so much for joining me on Mashup Talk here on the Bootie Mashup channel. I'm your hostess, Adriana A. I am the founder and creator of Bootie Mashup. And thank you guys so much for being here. And I'm ready to freaking drink some White Claw and dance. And so we are going to throw it on over. There's going to be like a little 20-second blip, and then we're going to throw it over to DJ Freddie, King of Pants, spinning for you guys live in Seattle. Thank you so much for joining us on Mashup Talk. Bootie loves you.